Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Thursday, May 11th, and we are convening a tax review board. The category today is L&I. My name is Melissa Andre. I'm the executive director, and it is my responsibility to advise everyone to please be aware that this is a public hearing and it is being recorded. Because the meeting is public, participants and viewers have no expectation of privacy. And by continuing to be in this meeting, you are consenting to being recorded. This recording will be on the tax review board website for public viewing. At this time, I'm going to pass over control of the hearing to Nancy Kamerdiener, and I'm also going to put in Mr. Powell, which is case number 1. So Nancy, just hold tight. I'm going to run over there.
Okay.
Nancy, can you hear me? Nancy,
Yes,
can everybody hear me?
it's very, very low. Needs a little bit more volume.
All right. Mr. Powell, just make sure to speak nice and loud and clearly into this microphone. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Good afternoon, everyone. The first item on our agenda is for Gilbert Powell, last 4 digits of the docket 9240. The property address here is 5312 Wayne Avenue. I see we were getting some additional adjustments. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay. If the petitioner could identify himself for the record,
Gilbert Powell.
do you swear or affirm to tell the truth with everything that comes before the board?
Yes, I did.
Okay, thank you. I had introduced the property with its address. I understand that this is a status hearing, just to bring us up to date on what's happened with this in the past. I don't know whether well, first let me find out who's representing the city in this matter.
Michael Rulo on behalf of the city, RULLO.
Will anyone else be involved in testifying on the city's behalf that needs to be introduced?
No, I don't believe anyone needs to be introduced for this since it's just.
Okay, fine. Then I'm not sure which party we need to start with. Does the city have any opening comments, and then we'll turn to the petitioner? That might be the best way to go.
Yes. So actually, as a first preliminary matter, I'm not sure if the board is aware, but in the Court of Common Pleas matter that is still active in court, it's actually not scheduled to go to trial until November at the earliest. Mr. Powell does have representation of an attorney in that case, and there are overlapping issues between these cases since they kind of have the same universe regarding this demolition. And so one of the things I just want to get some clarification on the record first, because I think it's important for us to dot our I's and cross our T's here, is whether or not Mr. Powell intends to proceed in this matter pro se, despite having representation on similar issues in an active separate court case.
When you perhaps he needs a translation of per se.
Mr. Powell, do you intend to? You have an attorney in the separate case that you have in Court of Common Pleas, correct?
That's correct, yes.
Okay. Are you going to proceed in this case before the tax review board with an attorney, or are you going to represent yourself?
Before the tax review board, I'm going to represent myself. And, at this moment, that's what I'm going to do.
If you could be a little closer to the microphone, it would help.
Yes, thank you.
I'm sorry to interrupt there, but.
Okay. I thought we were going to have a hearing before the review board today. And I didn't know we were just here for, preliminary things, just to see where we stood, stuff like that. But I was prepared to represent myself today if we have a hearing on the matter of the demolition cost, and the demolition deals.
All right, so Mr. Powell, I think where we stand, according to Mr. Rulo and our own files, is because you've got a case pending in the Court of Common Pleas, the Tax Review Board needs to wait until that is all resolved to see if there are any remaining issues that would be appropriate for us. It's possible everything will get resolved at the Court of Common Pleas. We have no way of knowing, but we do need to wait until that is resolved. So really, that's why we're here today, just to hear how that's going, where that stands, so that we can decide that we're going to, again, keep this matter in a continuance status until we get information that the Court of Common Pleas matter's been resolved. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, I understand.
Okay. So you've already, so let's just confirm from, as Mr. Rulo asked, you're fine today or prepared today to do this status hearing without your lawyer?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so Mr. Rulo, does that answer your question sufficiently?
It does. The only thing that I'd also just like to get on the record is just to be very safe here, but Mr. Powell, are you authorizing us city attorneys and giving us permission to contact you directly regarding this specific case before the Tax Review Board?
Yes, I am.
Oh, and I'm going to piggyback on that. Ms. Andre, do we have an attorney of record, or do we only have Mr. Powell in our files in terms of contact and petitioner information?
We only have Mr. Powell.
Okay, so we haven't even been in, I guess, corresponding in any way with an attorney, Mr. Rulo.
That's correct. And just from the city's perspective, it's a bit of an unusual situation because Mr. Powell's attorney is communicating with city attorneys concerning the Court of Common Pleas matter, but then we're having simultaneous outreach from Mr. Powell concerning this case. So I think it's just important for everyone to understand that breakdown, and then for the city attorneys to understand that we do have permission to speak with him for this matter, even though technically speaking, we could not speak with him regarding the other matter since he does have counsel. So that's why I'm just trying to be very clear about what we're doing here for everyone, including for you, Mr. Powell.
Is there anything else, Mr. Rulo, that you feel that you need to have on the record?
No, apart from the fact that I think I had mentioned that the trial in the consolidated action in the Court of Common Pleas is presently scheduled for November 6th. However, they are running multiple months behind. So presumably.
Don't know what that's like.
So presumably the board would like to continue this to a date that is hopefully after when this trial will occur in the other matter.
So Ms. Andre, the last time we continued it, did we give it a year?
We did. We gave it a whole
We
year.
could-
Last scheduled April of 2022.
All right, so let me suggest this then. I guess we could give it a year, right, by April. And obviously, if things resolve sooner, somebody could let us know that we should, get it teed up for our docket, or we'll be back here again next, May? Next May, and you'll tell us where you stand. Does that make sense to everybody?
It does to the city.
It does.
Mr. Powell, does that,
Yes, it does.
okay.
And Mr. Powell, the next time it will not be listed for a hearing. We will have a status again, just to check on it. And then we will list it for a hearing, okay?
Okay.
And we received all the documentations that you provided to us. So you don't have to send them to us again.
Say that again. please.
Unless, of course, there's a change in what goes into that documentation, and then we should have that update.
Okay,
Everything that you sent over, we have.
okay. And if I have anything additional, or if anything additional develops, I can send that over also.
Of course.
Okay.
Anything else that anyone wants to raise?
No, I would just concur in a decision to continue this until next May, unless we hear differently from the parties.
I was just going to ask if Ms. Andre could forward me the documents that were referenced. I don't believe that the city got a copy of those yet, but I could be incorrect.
I'll forward them to you, Mr. Rulo.
Thank you very much.
And since the board has started to concur, are the rest of the board members in concurrence here? George?
Dominique Ward concurs.
Okay, Dominic, thank you. George?
George Matthews, I concur.
And Nancy Camerdiner, I concur. So we thank you very much for coming in today, helping us understand where this matter sits, and we wish you. Was someone else trying to raise something here? Oh,
No,
I thought I heard another voice coming in. We thank the petitioner for coming in and hope that things continue to progress and that you'll have some resolution at the court so that when we try to address this again a year from now, we'll be ready to go. And if you have a conclusion at the court earlier, you could also let us know so that we could look at available times to start a little bit earlier than May.
I like,
Yes,
Revenue, the revenue department, they have this bill in my account.
I can barely hear you.
The revenue department has this bill, demolition bill, in my account. And what they are doing, they refuse to give me tax clearance because of the bill. And also at the same time, the bill is accumulating interest and penalties. It started off like about $48,000. Now it's up like 56,000. Is there any way we could stay the accumulation of interest and penalties until we resolve this matter?
Mr. Powell, the way this works is at the time of your hearing, we will get an accounting of all the interest and all the penalties that are on your bill. And the board can and does have the jurisdiction to abate any portion of that amount. So if the interest and penalty is $80,000 by the time you come back, the board will address the $80,000 in penalties.
Okay,
Okay? And then in regards to the tax clearance, the tax review board has no input on the tax clearance because you've appealed this bill. It will stay that way with the Department of Revenue as it remains unpaid.
And if it helps, Mr. Powell, you can reach out to me directly regarding that tax clearance issue. And we can discuss to see if there's some sort of a resolution that we can reach on that component. So if you want to reach out to me after this hearing, we can discuss that hopefully soon.
yeah, I'm okay for right now, but it came up and it took a lot of talking to people and writing and emailing and back and forth. And it just took a long time to try and get it resolved. And I'm just trying to make sure that doesn't happen again. I don't have to spend a whole lot of time trying to get it resolved. It took about a month to get it resolved or more. But finally we did.
I'm gonna provide you with Mr. Rulo's information. So that way, if this becomes a problem, you can reach out to him.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
No problem.
And thank you very much for coming in today. And we look forward to hearing more about this in the coming months.
Thank you. And that completes my business. May I please be excused.
Yes, you may.
Thank you, board members.
Yeah,
Right.
that's,
Fine. Thank you very much. You're welcome to head out. Melissa will meet you oh, there she is right now at the door. She'll give you that contact information.
thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you.
This is Mr. Rulo's information, and if you go to the front, you can get my card, and if you have any other questions, or if something happened that litigation, and you're like, hey, I can have a hearing now, I can.
And you gonna send me a paper, and I was here today.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you. Hi again, everyone. It is approximately 2:22, and there is no one in the physical waiting room here at 100 South Broad Street, and there is no one on the virtual Zoom for that or at all.
Okay, and the items that she's referring to are all for Lorena Garcia. Last four digits of the docket. Having trouble reading this number here, 8764 6670 8763 and 9194. The property address is 2956 Edgeley Street. I've got a dark shadow right where I was trying to read the record. Sorry for the delay there. Obviously, we don't have anyone here for this item, and we'll ask for a determination on what we do with this. It's my understanding that this is the first time it comes to the board. Is that correct, Melissa?
Yes, this is the first time it's been before the board.
Okay, and do we have anything else we should take into account in terms of reaching a decision on how we handle this as we clear it from the record today?
I'd like to hear from the city as to what the
Sure.
status, if they have any information, and I assume Mr. Reuter, it's your
Oh,
case.
I didn't see that there was someone there from the city that had come up on the listing.
Yes, thank you.
Please identify yourself for the record.
Sure, Leonard F. Reuter, Reuter, senior attorney for the city of Philadelphia. Our determination was that there are 4 bills that were appealed to this board. And those are the 4 separate appeals. And in fact, all of those are now showing as having 0 balance. So they were all paid off, and presumably the matter is the appeal can just be either marked moot or dismissed. There is another outstanding bill, but that came after these appeals, and that's a separate bill that was
But they're not before
that's
us
not before
today.
you. Yes,
Yeah.
Mr. Reuter,
I-
does that include the demolition?
that includes the demolition. There is a bill that was issued after the demolition that is for additional work that was issued in December of 2021. And that was not appealed. That's not part of these appeals. Unfortunately, the attorney who filed these appeals on behalf of the property owner does not have an email address, didn't put an email address on any of the appeal forms, nor does he appear to have an email address anywhere. I checked online extensively. But in any case, the specific appeals in front of you have all been marked as paid. So I don't know if the property has sold, but there's no bill to appeal.
Can you tell me when
Were
they
you
were paid,
contacted?
Mr. Reuter?
Yes.
Can you tell me when they were paid?
You want to know the date that they were paid? I have not been able to get that information. So the city has converted to revenues converted to a new system called Prism. So unfortunately, in the law department, we do not have access to Prism yet. However, all of the Prism, all of the Prism information is now available through the city's tax center website, which is tax-services.phila.gov. And you can also get there through the old through the OPA website when you try to look up the real estate balance. So that's showing, and that is up to date. Now, I don't know what access you have. If you're using the old accounts receivable system, that is no longer accurate and no longer being updated. So you,
Mr. Reuter, I have access to Prism. I'll check it later.
oh, okay, great.
Thank you.
Okay. Does the city have anything else to add in reference to this in terms of how we should handle this other than denying it for failure to appear at this point? Or do we just identify it as
It
having
wouldn't be a
been
denial
resolved?
for failure to appear. It was paid off.
Right,
So it's-
I know, I realized as soon as I
But-
said it out loud that I should not
But-
have said that.
I don't know if we need to go back. I know there's no evidence on the record, but we did get documentation attached to the petition that makes me question some of this, that would make me more comfortable with a denied for failure to appear.
I think we should mark this no action needed.
Do you?
Yeah,
Alright.
there's nothing due and owing, and there's no action for the board to act on. That came out weird.
I guess the question is, and since we don't have the information, were the bills, was this paid after the filing or before the filing?
I can find that out, Nancy. Paula, and let you know.
Is that crucial to our decision on how we label this?
I don't know.
If everybody can wait like 5 minutes, I can figure this out.
Okay.
I'm okay with that.
People don't mind. I just think it's important.
Okay, I'll be right
Okay.
back. Everyone, thanks for your patience. Took me 3 minutes. So on Prism, this is weird because I don't know if I could testify to what I'm seeing on Prism, but this isn't technically a hearing. But there is information regarding an adjustment from the Department of Revenue based on a memo that is not in the system that I cannot see, but it says adjusted balance prior to sale.
Adjusted balance prior to what?
Sale.
Oh, prior to sale.
Yeah.
And
and it
do
looks
we
like-
know when the sale was?
I think it's the sheriff's sale.
Oh, sheriff's sale, okay.
That's what is in Prism. Either way, I think the board should mark this as no action needed, as there is nothing doing on it.
Board members, do you concur in that idea? Dominique? George, or do we need to step aside to discuss?
Yes, we have to step aside and talk about it for at least 2 minutes, please.
Not a problem. Hold on, everyone. Just waiting for Nancy and Paula. Nancy, everyone is back.
Okay, thank you. After some discussion, the board has determined that we're going to mark this item as no action needed. Do I have the concurrence of the board members on that?
Dominic Ward concurs.
Paula Weiss concurs.
George Matthew concurs.
And Nancy Kammerdinger, I concur. So that ends our discussion on this matter, unless there's something that the city or anyone else who's on the call has anything to add.
Nothing from the city.
Seeing no
Thank you.
one identify any other issues that are outstanding, this hearing is adjourned. Thank you all for attending today.
Bye,
Thanks,
everybody.
everyone.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.